I had my first epiphany at about 5 or 7 years. So I built up the training in Zen and also built up my entrepreneurship. So this ran parallel. This is where conscious business started. Spirituality and creativity comes together. It's a feeling of coming home. It's a really big heart opening, and all the identification is lost. My life has a purpose, and the purpose is also to look behind the curtain.
Hi, and welcome to Metaconscious Leaders, where we ask guests how we can better or best combine purpose, personal fulfillment, and business for a greater good. Our guest today is perfect for such a conversation, having spent 3 decades shaping physical landscapes across Germany and, in parallel, cultivating his own inner landscape of consciousness. Juergen Wollborn is the founder of WLG Wollborn Landscape Architects Partners, GmbB, a Berlin-based practice that he built from the early 1990s into a respected multidisciplinary studio, which he later sold and has only recently stepped away from. Yet alongside building his successful landscape architectural firm, Jürgen was also walking another path, one of deep Zen training, eventually receiving Dharma transmission and becoming Zen Master Roshido. So today is a very special opportunity for us to explore how one man has blended in his life his personal spiritual development with that of a business, and discuss with him the part the business itself can play for others on a path of awakening. So welcome, Jürgen, and thank you so much for being our guest today. It's a real privilege to have you.
Hello, Greg. Thank you for your invitation. It's a pleasure to be here in this podcast. And thank you very much for this very nice introduction of my history, the last 3 decades.
Yeah, it's I'm not quite sure how to go about asking the questions that I so want to ask, Jürgen. So let's kind of step into it. You have successfully combined your personal and spiritual development with that of building a business and going on and selling it. But let's start a little bit earlier. What was your earlier life like? And when you look back on it now, how did you perceive that life before you went on and launched WLG?
If I go very far back, I come to my childhood. Both of these paths, these ways already started. I had my first epiphany at about 5 or 7 years, when I was this young. And the story goes like this. I was in the forest with my grandfather picking berries. And there was a beech wood, these long trees, really tall trees. I was really enjoying these berries in the woods. And I was looking through the treetop and saw the sky, the open blue sky up there. And this was a moment I really realized this world is much bigger than it seems to be. There's something really, really big behind it. And this is where the journey started, very early, in very early childhood. And of course, you can't work with this impression as a child, but this stays with you. And 20 years later, I had the impulse, now I have to start searching. What is this big thing behind it?
Right.
And I went to the first Zen training. Was about 25 years old. So this was a calling, like your phone.
So sorry about that.
Don't worry. It's actually like this. It's the universe is ringing.
It's so crazy.
And at some point you have to open the door.
Yes. Carry on, Jürgen. I'm just gonna switch it off and make sure it doesn't do that again.
Don't worry. It's
carry on.
Somebody wants to be part of this. So then I started this very rudimentary training.
How old were you at this point?
I was 25.
Okay.
And actually the course didn't take place because there were no participants. And the teacher says, hey, well, it looks like you're really interested to come to my private group. And so there was a group of very experienced Zen students. Already 20, 30 years of experience. And so I was invited there every Thursday evening and sit there with 1.5 hours with these guys. And after a few meetings, he said, well, if you really want to go into this, you have to go to the Zen monastery to get a proper training and be prepared to sit in retreats.
Right.
So this was like really a training where to train how to concentrate and train how to sit for hours and work through whatever shows up. So this I did for about 10 years, regularly, week-long training.
Oh, I see. So this was training that you did in Germany during...
It's a monastery in Germany. It is actually the place where Emanuel Lasalle, who was a Jewish priest in Hiroshima, who brought Zen to Germany.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Benedict ground, Benedict monastery, and they were allowed to build a original Japanese zendo into their monastery garden.
Right.
Very beautiful building.
Okay.
So it's a meditation hall where about 50 people can sit there, and all the teachers and were trained in Japan. And I was sitting there for about 10 years, very regularly, and also very rigid, as Zen is. Where you have to go through your pain, you have to go through the impatience, you go all through these things that hold you away from experiencing real life. And after 10 years, say, well,
so can I just,
yeah.
I have in my mind that you were doing this at weekends and probably at other times as well, but you were also doing a job of work at the same time, were you?
Yeah. I went there for weekends or a week-long retreats or 10-day retreats regularly, were 3 times a year. I was sitting in the morning and in the evening regularly. I had a routine. Even holidays, I had this routine with sitting, meditating. And as well, also the time I founded the company. So I built up the training in Zen and also built up my entrepreneurship. So this ran parallel. Ran parallel, yes.
Had you been, what was your earlier training in? Had you been to university or done anything of that sort?
Yes, I've studied landscape architecture. No, I'm actually educated landscape gardener.
Right.
Because my early childhood experience, as I told you, happened in the woods.
Yes.
So my driver was to work with nature, to work very close to nature.
Yeah.
So I decided to become a landscape gardener. And I did a proper education. I really love this job, working with plants and working with nature, working with the earth, working with Mother Nature. And I did this for 5 years, but this is physically very hard job because you're in the weather from morning to evening, all day long, all year long. And so I decided to pick up and study this profession and studied landscape architecture in Osnabrück, became a bachelor of landscape architecture. After 3 years of being in the job, I actually got the title as an architect.
Right. Okay.
So this is a professional development. Yeah.
And what had you seeking to start your own business rather than going working for somebody else? So
I was working with trees. After my studies, after I finished studies, I traveled around and worked with trees, healing trees and things like that in a company. But traveling around all the day with 2 kids, having 2 kids at home doesn't work. So I was away for sometimes 2 weeks in a row, so that doesn't work. So I looked for something different, and I had 3 job offers, and one of this was working in landscape architect's office. I said, okay, I'm going to do this because I don't know anything about it. Because my education was very technical.
Okay.
Not creative, but very engineering. Like
curiosity.
Yes.
Curiosity, though, is a very valuable asset in such situations.
I said, okay, let's try this. And so, but the owner of this office was never available. He was never there. And so I worked there for 2 years on my own, very autodidactic. On my own, and this was the best preparation to build up my own business.
Yeah.
And at the end of 2 years, I was invited to buy into an existing company. So I bought 50% of an existing company, which was a solopreneur. He was a solopreneur. So we worked together for, I think, 12 years. He worked with 2 people, and I, in the end, with 12 people. And so this wasn't balanced anymore. And so we interrupted this partnership, stopped this partnership, and I started from scratch again, from scratch again, on my own, and again with 10 people.
So you started WLG in 1993, 95?
Yeah, 95 years. Yeah.
Can you talk us through what your journey was in the practical sense. And then we'll come back to your Zen practice and how you blended that with your leadership practice in the business and so forth. But would you just give us a short narrative of what actually happened with WLG and how you brought in new players and so forth?
So I started as a very young entrepreneur. My father was also an entrepreneur, and I knew what's coming with it. You have to be ready to go the extra mile, especially if you ramp up a company. So the passion was there for this job. I really love creating landscapes as a landscape gardener and as a landscape architect. So I was full of passion in those days, and I had no idea about business. And the good luck I had, I met a mentor,
Yes.
a coach.
Yeah.
His name is Dennis. He's born in London. His mother's Irish, and he was the CFO of Levi Strauss. He was building up Levi Strauss International. He was 25 years older than me. He was a top manager, and he had all this experience and left job with 45. And he said, "Well, if you want to learn business, how business works, how you manifest, how you build up clients, I can help you." So
Okay.
he was willing, but he said, on the other side, you have to work on your personal growth. This goes hand in hand. And he was also a very spiritual person. So he had also an epiphany, and so this was our, I call it, our common ground was spirituality.
How did you come to meet Dennis?
This is through energy work. It's really so. My first wife sent me to a therapist, and he did energy work on me. And I said, well, I want to learn this by myself.
Right.
And also, where did you learn it? He said, oh, you go to Dr. Morby, to Dr. Yasmin Morby. And so I went there and met all the courses she offered. And her husband was Dennis Morby. And through learning energy work, I came in contact to him, and we got friends. And he was really out of the big business, and he was out of the London business world. So this was for a little landscape gardener this was a completely few dimensions up.
Exactly.
But I was pulled to it because there came other perspectives into business, and so I learned how to build up a numbers-driven company with the product was designing. It's really complete entrepreneur mindset I built up. In 1 year, I built up the staff from 2 people to 10 people.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, I had projects which were worth billions, recreating 7 hectares of housing environment for the Americans. And things like that. This really worked when you build the focus on the numbers and on your purpose and ready to go the extra mile. And the power to do this came through meditation. Because on the other hand, I really intensified my meditation practice. So I was sitting each morning. The first thing in the morning I was sitting. Last thing in the day I was sitting.
For how long?
So this was a phase of about 8 years.
And for how long would you sit in the morning and in the evening?
It's half an hour.
Okay.
Half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. And in the weekends, I went for Zazen Kai. This is a 1-day sitting in the monastery. Or I went for retreats for 7 days or 10 days, silent retreats.
And this you found helped your concentration when it came to focusing on your entrepreneurship?
Yes, it helped the focus and the concentration and the discipline, and also going through the pain, going through things that are not so comfortable. Because I think in every job and every work you find a corner where it's uncomfortable. Things that have to be done, and you learn. You just do it. Don't blame them, or you learn to accept the things how they are, and you work through it. And
so that's
you learn to put the emotions aside.
Yeah. And it's not a passive thing, is it, Jürgen? Acceptance is not a passive thing. It's not saying, well, yeah, whatever. It's simply an acceptance that this is where it is now. What can I do next? What do I do next? What is my contribution now from this moment forward? Is that right?
Yes, acceptance for me is you are not losing yourself in whatever in front of your nose. You stay your ground, you stay your presence, and it doesn't disturb you. It touches you, yes. There is compassion, yes, but you don't suffer.
And that arises, that ability to do that arises from your very firm grounding in your own being, and knowing that is the ground of being, rather than something that is external to you.
Yeah. If you're connected to the higher dimension or the wider dimension, this is not relevant. It's not relevant to chew on details that make you suffer.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then I had to make up a decision because my former partner, he wasn't built like this. He was not a spiritual practitioner, and he didn't develop this entrepreneur mindset. So we had to split up, and I started again. I was complete free to design and form the company for my needs, or for the needs of the staff members. So
Right.
this was then a completely new attitude where I said, well, the real capital of a company is the staff members, the people you work with. So I step by step changed my behavior more people-centric. So I really went into it. So I took on 3 fresh students and trained them for 3 years.
Okay.
Preparing the work, controlling the work, feedbacking the work.
Yeah.
And in the evenings and in the weekends, I did my work. So I really trained these people that come from university and have no idea what work needs. So I trained them for 3 years, and 2 of them now took over my company 15 years later.
Right.
So I was really all I knew into these people without having this goal that they sometimes take over. I said I need really good people, and so I said I have to focus on that, put my energy and invest in it. And I didn't earn a lot of money in those years, but I've built up some very wealth on another level, another form.
Yes.
In human form.
Yeah.
And so this is where conscious business started. This is where I said, well, when I can train myself through Zen, for example, through Zen, and work on my personal growth through a method like this, I can hand this over. And if there are people there who are willing to grow and willing to learn, not only professional, also personal. So this is where I step in. This is where I step in. And this is where conscious leadership started. It's nice to see, and really a gift to see when people shift and people grow, and people are longing for experience, longing how does it work? How do we do it? So this is where the seed of conscious leadership lies.
So Jürgen, did the 3 people that you took on and you trained, did they also do Zen practice?
No, they don't meditate. One of them is doing yoga. The other one, I don't think so. But they come if they were sitting with me a few times, yes. And they always have the opportunity to come along with their questions.
Right.
Or they allow me to be the pointer, and so I have a look here, have a look there.
So they have an appreciation of their personal development as well as their business development. And we have different paths, and they have their paths, but it sounds to me like that's implicit in the culture of the business that you created. Is that right?
Yeah. I draw a line. They know that I offer meditation. They have the opportunity to join, and if they don't join, doesn't matter. So I'm not pressing it into the profession. I call it. It's more like a background music.
Yes.
If you bring consciousness with it and the smell of spirit, it's like a background music, it's playing all the time.
Okay.
And but you can have the volume on very low, so people are not disturbed of it.
Yeah.
So if this picture helps, yeah.
Okay. So you had these 3 people on board, and the business grew. And then you gathered around you, I think, some quite notable clients.
Yes. During the 30 years, I created about 1,200 projects, landscape projects. And yes, there were some top managers around it, CEOs of leading companies in Germany, which wanted a Zen garden by my handwriting.
Yeah.
And so we were working only also for official institutions like the police, army, things like that. So we are connected also to other fields, not only to the private field, also to official fields.
And you're creating environments around their offices or around their communities so that they, these are beautiful environments in which they can relax and repose whilst they're taking a break from their work. Is that right?
But the boutique area are Zen gardens. So I created some Zen gardens
Okay.
in modern style, my style. And these places, they carry the frequency of presence. So there are geometrics underneath it. I work with
Right.
geometry.
Yeah.
I work with stones, which carry frequencies. And these frequencies are very like the frequency of different levels of consciousness,
Okay.
like presence.
Yeah.
So my capability is to put these frequencies into stones or into the earth or into form. This is a gift I also learned through meditation. Once you get a feel and a sense of presence, how this feels like, and you are able to do energy work, you can bring this into form. I don't talk
Yes.
about that to the customers.
I was going to ask that.
They are just happy with the result. If it's a public park or a private Zen garden, or if it's a hospital for veterans which come back from war, which are also
Yeah.
designed courtyards in a hospital where injured people come back from war, which are really traumatized. And you offer a space which is very calm and very, very present and very powerful. So this
Yes.
helps these people.
Yeah.
So it's not only for looking at it, not only to be aligned, also to heal, to will through presence, through natural presence, to the present which is our birthright.
Yeah.
So this is
And
also sorry. So yes.
no, you carry on.
So this is another point where spirituality and creativity comes together. You can feel it. It's things are done out of presence. You could see it in the design. If you go to Assisi, Francis of Assisi, to Italy, and you walk into this little church which he has built by his own hands, you feel it.
Yes.
And several thousands and millions of people running through it. It's still there. It's in every brick, and it's incredible. It's so magic and so strong.
Yeah.
And people love
Yeah.
it. Yeah. And
So did you market these gardens as Zen gardens, or was that also something that you kind of kept a little quiet?
No, I marketed the Zen gardens, and they look
Yeah.
like it. You have this big
Oh.
bonsais and gravel and wood and bamboo and
Yeah.
azaleas and things. They are there. They have a touch of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And does Feng Shui come into that?
Sorry, Feng Shui? Yes, yes, a bit of it. So I look at the orientation. Where's north? Where's the entrance? Where's the Wells corner? Where's the knowledge corner? And this works actually.
Okay. So when did you sell the business, and can you give some idea as to the size of it, the number of people you had working, and the size of your contracts, that sort of thing?
So the reason I sold it, I got married to Dr. Yasmin Morbi, who trained me in energy work 30 years ago. So 5 years ago, she said, well, now we are married. And if you go on working like crazy, there's no space left for a relationship. So what are you going to do about this? I said, well, then I have to make up a decision. I said, well, no, maybe it's time then to think about selling the company or hand it over to proper people. So I made interviews. I had an interviewer who went into the company and made interviews with the candidates. So then 4.5 years ago, then we made the decision, okay, I'm going to sell in the end of 2025.
Okay.
And there's a preparation time for about 4.5 years to bring these candidates from workers mindset to entrepreneur mindset, which doesn't go like this. This really takes time. And these two needed these 4 years.
And these were people who worked for you?
Yes, this is two of the people I trained 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And I handed over the company, I think, in a condition which hasn't been like this before. So last year, I was able to hire 3 very experienced landscape architects. with a daily turnover for 1.5 million euros. There are contracts in the backlog of about 3.5 million. So these are the amount of contracts that are sitting there. And in total, I told you it's about 1,200 projects I created, and the volume is about 350 billion. So estimate. So this is quite a big responsibility around money also.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
what was that number? Was that the total value of all of the contracts?
It was the number of the building cost I was available for. As an architect, you are responsible for the building costs.
Okay.
And 350 billion is about the building cost over 30 years.
350 billion of cost.
Is billion the right number in English? Million. Million, yes, yeah. Billion.
350 million.
Yeah. Elon Musk, he's dealing with these numbers. 350 billion.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit, because what I'd really like to do is explore the impact of Zen and your spiritual practice on your leadership, and how that then comes into play with people like me and other people who are watching, who are leaders, who are in business in very, very challenging times. So tell me about Zen.
Zen is for me a format which provides discipline and the ability to build up focus and concentration. It's a simple format which drives you to simplicity, especially the Rinzai Zen, which were my beginnings in the Rinzai Zen, where you have very little rituals. There's nothing. You sit with 50 people in silence. No talking, nothing. Maybe one teaching a day, and that's it.
Okay. And this has direct lineage from Gautama Buddha?
The wisdom, knowledge of Gautama Buddha, what he experienced, came to China. I think it's sank into these religions that were there already, and in some form brought up Buddhism in that area. China, Tibet, Nepal, in that area. It was called Chan in China, Chan, Zen Chan.
Okay.
Then few people from Japan went to China, among them Dogen Senshi, who wanted to get in contact with the original Dharma, with the original Zen. So I get goosebumps when I talk about it, because Dogen is a really credible guy. And he got enlightened in China. There's actually a very nice movie about him, it's Dogen, called Dogen. It's a very touching movie. And he brought so the Dharma he found in the knowledge about enlightenment in China, brought it to Japan, and really fought for it to build up this community around him. He didn't actually fought, but he worked through it. He stand his ground and established the Soto Zen tradition. And out of this different other Zen tradition originated. And then a few people traveled to Japan, among them Emmanuel Lassalle, who was a Jewish priest, as I told before, and he didn't could get in contact with the Japanese society, with their way of living, and he said, where are their roots? And so he said, oh, there's something like Zen. You have to go into Zen and learn Zen, and so he was invited for a training, and so he trained Zen, and in the end became Zen Master and brought this knowledge to Germany.
Okay.
And to the middle of Europe. And he was one of the people who brought it. So, but back to your question, what is Zen for me? Zen for me is a surface, it's a format, the essence.
It's a service, did you say?
Surface.
Oh,
it's a surface. It's a surface. Yeah. It's a cover. It's a layout. The content is so different in these different traditions, and like in every religion, it's formed by people. And this was the reason why I went back to the roots. Okay. The roots are at Gautama Buddha, at the Buddha. So I went through his teachings, through his way of meditating, his way of describing different level of consciousness. All this knowledge is available, but it's not carried in Zen traditions. It's not in there. And then you work with the breath, you work with the koans, you listen to the Dharma talks, and you're more or less left alone on your journey. So I found the scriptures, the jhana meditation, And I went through it with a handful of people. We said, okay, there is no decent teacher in Western Europe who knows about this and who has made an authentic experience through this method. So we do it ourselves. We have enough focus and concentration force to know how to meditate. And now we explore these levels of consciousness.
Okay.
And actually 4 of them had an awakening. 4 or 5 people had an awakening. The goosebumps coming up. Because this method is really highly effective. If you have built up the power of concentration and focus, then
Great.
and the power of allowing, the power of falling back, stepping back. And this is, for me, going through this route, practice in Buddhism. All the other things, all the tools for life, everyday life, that in this Buddhist scriptures, they're very, very helpful. I really like all it's written there and all the methodology that's built up there. And you can just say it's a form of psychology also. What's in this scriptures is in it. It's very helpful. But to go really deep into spirituality, my experience is go back to the roots of what's practiced by Gautama Buddha. This is what works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you were made a Zen master, so there was transmission there. Could you explain that and the significance of that?
Yeah, I had several samadhis on this way. You know, samadhi is like a glimpse of pure consciousness. I had 3 of them, and so this state of pure consciousness, it stays there for a few minutes, few hours, few weeks, and then there comes this big bang. It stays there for very long. So it's like awakening. It's like really coming home, and there's not a lot of identification lost.
How would you describe to someone who hasn't had that experience? How would you describe probably the indescribable? But how could you best put it into words what that is like?
Also, if you are in meditation and the perception gets finer and finer and finer, the body sense contact has long gone. There are no thoughts running. There's very subtle feeling. And when you imagine, okay, what will happen if the last reference you have in right now, if you drop this, if you jump over a river and you don't know what's on the other bank, if you're willing to make this jump, letting go of this last reference that you're carrying, then it's like you're pulling a plug, and it doesn't fit together anymore. And if you're in this state and you go out into nature and you look out there and you all of a sudden see, are you the tree or is the tree you? There's no difference anymore. I can say it's a feeling of coming home. It's this really big heart opening, and all the identification is lost. You can't say I'm a tree or I'm a Jürgen. You really have this sense of all one.
How can you go and get breakfast?
It's very difficult in the beginning. Because you have also no reference to the function of the body. Your consciousness is not identified with the body anymore. Because our identification, our personality is built up through referencing. We have learned to reference, to orientate in life. It's also part of the brain, of the neural system. This reference thing. For me, black looks different than to you, or red different to you. Everybody's reference different. And this builds up the personality and the identity. A big part of this falls away. Okay. So it's like you're deleting something, deleting of the self-image, which actually is generated by referencing, by identification. Then you see behind the curtain, and you can see all you've thought is real is just a movie. A self-created movie in your mind through this referencing, through this conditioning, through this self-talk. And this drops away. And of course, part of the ego will stay because it's necessary to survive. You need it to survive. Yeah. This will stay. And the referencing will build up again. It takes a few days, a month, maybe a year, you don't know. And then you look on life through different glasses, or unfiltered. Let's say it unfiltered.
Say more about that. What is the difference between seeing life filtered and seeing it unfiltered?
If you have glasses on you which are referencing, which puts label on everything, label things, this labeling stops.
Okay.
Because you know everything is, how to express it in English, is transcended by one force, by one energy, by one consciousness. You actually can see it. In the beginning, you can see it, like all the particles move, and you can see nothing is solid as long as you don't create it with your mind. It's I very seldom talk about it because it makes people freak out. Just the idea to lose the identification is for most people is something. No, I'm not going there. I don't need that. Yeah. And my understanding of life is this is what we are here for. To look behind the curtain and tear down the curtain and let the sun shine in and let the consciousness shine in. This is part of our evolution. This is why the Homo erectus learned walking,
Yeah.
then being a farmer, and these days creating AI because he has developed consciousness, but he hasn't transcended it. And our possibility, our gift as a human being is to transcend consciousness. And it's worth going there. It's worth exploring the inner landscape and find the paradise in there. And everybody carries it in itself. And for some, it's a gift. They have a nervous breakdown and they are there, like Eckhart Tolle or Byron Katie. They have just a nervous breakdown. There they are. Tuck. It's also painful. And for others, it's work. It's a decision to go this path, to go the Zen path, go the spiritual path. And to execute always experienced in day-to-day work. And this is again, we are again in Zen practice, you bring this experience into the world, onto the marketplace, in day-to-day life, in relationship, in your creation, this presence, this experience.
And
so,
if we look at the context of the world now, of humanity now, Homo erectus, where what we're doing just now, the state of the world, various words are used like metacrisis and metamorphosis. We are, or humanity is at a juncture at the moment. How would you frame where humanity is at this point in time, Jürgen?
The pressure is going up. The mental pressure, especially the mental pressure, is going up. It's a constant noise, whether it's social media, whether it's news, bad news, whether it's the economy going down, whether it's a challenge with new invention, which can drive one crazy if you get the fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So on the one side, the pressure is really going up. And the only way out is to find a point where there's no pressure, where it's still. So the need to go into stillness is getting bigger. The need. I don't know whether the people are aware of it, because most people flee into consume. They're consuming pictures, data, things like that. Internally, they're not at the silent, still point. They are not at the core of their really being. We are not what we are doing. And pressure brings people more and more into doing, less into being.
Right.
This is a basic element in conscious leadership, to act out of being. This is the biggest driver to come in to leadership, into business out of being, not out of doing.
So
what? So yes, Greg.
What part does the doing play? At what point does one do?
Doing is very goal orientated. It's getting more, being more, the next thing, the next goal, the finishing tick, being better, proving oneself. It's more all about definition. And to be undefined is.
Is there anything wrong? Is there anything wrong with doing, Jürgen?
No.
I get the bit that is the ground of being is being. You know, the ground of everything is being, and that's what's real. And the doing is an expression of the being. Is how I see it. And the expression, if we're grounded in the being and we are aligned with our being, then our expression almost is effortless, is natural, flows. Does this have some resonance with the way you see it?
Yeah, doing out of being would be the frame. And doing is a challenge to improve the being.
Okay.
If you can observe yourself with your consciousness, with your higher consciousness, how present you are in doing, that's actually meditation. That is meditation. The sitting on the pillow is just exercise. The real meditation is in doing,
So
doing out of being.
You can be in meditation whilst leading.
Yes. The meditation, if it's integrated, if it's embodied, it's running in the background. As I said, this background music. It's always available. It's always there. It's this built-in presence.
Right.
And if you combine this with your observer, who can actually check a bit, are you coming out of presence? Or who's driving right now?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Is it the metric, or is it the metric? Is it the goal? Is it the competition, or is that what's driving it, or is it coming from a place of presence and knowing?
ideal setup is when it comes out of presence, of course. I also set goals. In my company, I've set goals. In the beginning of the year, I said, well, what's the turnover this year? And where are the contracts coming from? So I sit there and create it on paper. That, well, the contract is going from here and there and there and there, and this is the volume of the contract, and then this is the number we get in the end of the year. Okay, if it's 50% of it, it's fine. So I'm very creative, and then I reduce it. It's doing. And what I'm doing is I'm putting an intention out. And behind this intention and this intention comes out of presence. It's not, if I've got this number, I'm gonna buy this house or this vacation or this or that. It's just about bringing something into creating something. It's the act of creating, being a creator. Whether it's around numbers, whether it's around designs, whether it's around, and we're here as creators. We are creatures, so creators. So,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
it's a part of the game. It's playing.
Yeah.
Playing with the possibilities we have.
Yeah. What do you think, Jürgen, is the role of business and business leaders in the current paradigm at this time in humanity's history?
The role of a leader is to bring his team members behind common values and to guide them through their growth. And of course, serve the goals of the company. Yes, there are goals, or organization, whatever. There are also organizations around which have other values, other purposes, and making profit. A part of leader is, of course, a part of a role model. Somebody who has modeled himself, and people can rub it up. So somebody who has built up a presence and acts out of this presence, who has built up empathy, who can read other people, can see where they are and what they need, and who is able to see people and listen in, and then comes up with suggestion or decision. So it's, first of all, it's somebody who is able to look and listen what's going on and what's needed.
Yeah.
Paying attention, yeah, being right there with what is, with the people, with the tasks, with the customer,
And the challenges.
and the challenges, and what's also globally happening. Yeah, so.
Yeah. And do you have any examples of leaders who have inspired you that come to mind? And what was it about them that has them so high up in your estimation, as it were?
The first leader I met was the owner of a 5-star Swiss hotel. I think in Upper Engadine.
Okay.
So I spent there some time in this hotel, really ancient hotel where in former times authors went there for writing their novels. Very famous authors spent winters there. And I was walking through the floor one evening, and all of a sudden I saw the director, the owner, coming out of a toilet wearing rubber gloves, and he was about to clean the toilets. And there was a toilet for the staff members. A plate on it is only staff members. And so we stopped. And said, so what are you doing here? Is this a hobby? He said, no, it's my way to serve my staff members, to show my people I'm there for them.
Right.
No matter what's the case or what's the issue, I'm there for them. And I like to serve them. And this is why I'm cleaning the toilet. And so by this way, I stay grounded and I'm with them. I'm not somewhere above them. I'm with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this was for me very inspiring, because this gentleman, I call him really gentleman, he was really people-centric, and I think he ran this hotel in the 3rd generation already.
Okay.
Because this attitude was maybe handed through the generation. Attitude towards the serving culture. This is the product hotels selves. This is high quality service.
This is embodying it.
Yeah. So this was one people who really inspired me.
There's something there, Jürgen. It strikes me that there's an internal reason and an external reason. The internal reason is it keeps him grounded, and it's a part of his service to something greater.
Yeah.
And there's also an external one where he's modeling and he's demonstrating to others that this is his pathway and this is his determination, his dedication, his commitment to be in service. Yeah.
And it was authentic what he did. There was some passion behind it. He loved to do it, and said, "Well, that's impressive." Yeah, and I took it over. So I started cleaning toilets for my staff members. I think for 2 years.
Brilliant.
So and cleaned the office in the weekend.
Brilliant.
And they tried to keep me away from it. I said, no, it's my job. I do it.
Right. I'm sorry. I think you were going to mention somebody else there when I interrupted.
There's another role model I have. His name is Dennis, who was my first business coach. And he was at the top level of management. He was CFO of a multi-billion company. They were on the New York Stock Exchange. He also, before that,
Which
he was...
company?
SLT, it's a Swiss company. They sell things for writing and
Yes,
notepads and things like that. Before that, he was expansion leader for Levi Strauss International. So he developed Levi Strauss international globally. So this is maybe 30, 40 years ago. So he has seen all the places which are now widely overcrowded. Yeah. He was really sharp on numbers. He was a CFO and he could work with numbers. He knew how to manifest per numbers, how you work through with numbers. So he taught me how to work with numbers, and out of this build a business. So you can reduce everything to numbers. But he also was a very spiritual person. He left business when he was 45. After he had seen, I think he was on a business trip in India, he met a guru and had a samadhi there the second time, because he could see this guy has something I haven't got. And he spent there several weeks with him, and then he had his first samadhi and then went out of business. So he left his office, which was across Buckingham Palace in London. He said, "No, there is something which is much more impressive than looking on Buckingham Palace every day." So, and so then he started mentoring and coaching, and I was one of his coaches. And the very deep link we had was meditation. And he said, in the age of 65, you see, I'm 65 now, I have to use the rest of my life to reach enlightenment. I can't find a teacher, but I found a book from Ayakema. I think we talked about it before, where the jhana meditation is described. I think this works. I've bought an apartment in Frankfurt, and I locked myself in, he said, and I tried out. And he did this for 1.5 years.
Locked inside an apartment.
Yeah. So of course he went for dinner and lunch and things and enjoyed the city. Yeah. But he really focused like focus on numbers in business. He focused on meditation, on this method of meditating.
Okay.
And he had a breakthrough, I think, 1.5 years later.
All right.
Through the jhana meditation. During his time, I of course was sneaking in. I said, "What are you doing there?" And so I followed him. I said, you're not following him. You're supposed to work. You're supposed to earn money. You're supposed to build up a business. I said, well, I'm doing that anyhow, but my life has a purpose. And the purpose is also to look behind the curtain, how I call it. So then I said, okay, what works for him maybe could work for me. So I followed him. In the end, we were both there, having mastered this way, the jhana meditation. Then we can sit together and hand it over to other people who were interested, that came in here into others breakthrough and got awakened. And so he really inspired.
Will you just say, Jürgen, will you just say something about the jhana meditation? Just briefly outline what it is, as opposed to any other form of meditation. What makes it different?
The jhana meditation for me is the original root of meditation, which refers to Gautama Buddha.
Okay.
And this is the way how he described his experience going through the different level of consciousness. It's very well described in his transcripts. In his transcripts, they went from India to Sri Lanka, and the Theravadan Buddhists, they kept it. They didn't change it. So this is original.
Yeah.
And he very well describes how you go through this different level of consciousness. Like you get in touch with the subtle energy of your bodies. The body
Yeah.
doesn't end here; it's here. You get in touch with your energy body. You get in touch with your inner joy. You get in touch with your stillness. Then there's a condition where you are still and there's noise and you don't feel interrupted. It doesn't matter. You
Yeah.
can stay in the stillness. This is the fourth level. And then there's a major shift. And then the consciousness expands and you get aware of this endlessness of space. It's vastness of space, which can be experienced as this space is endless. Nobody can describe where does it end. So this is the non-material levels, and then you can experience the endlessness of consciousness itself. It has no limits. You can understand it logically, or you can really experience it, and you can be in this state, in this expanded consciousness.
Yeah.
And then this comes together, and after the seventh or eighth level, it's very difficult to describe. It's very difficult to describe. And in the end, you find emptiness and
Right.
total bliss. And when you come back, the first thing you find is love. It's this unconditional love. This is the first energy that shows up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can actually build it up in the morning meditation, for example. You go through all these stages.
Yeah.
And there are special points on the body, references for this, and then you can combine it with the inner qigong, with the still qigong, where you can activate it on the energy level and then let it go. And this whole thing can happen in 20 minutes. You are there.
And I asked you a moment ago about the value and purpose of leadership and at these times. What about the value and purpose of businesses to society, especially at these times of monumental change and challenge?
The business is for almost there to provide work, so people have something to do. They have a task and they have the possibility to do something that they like and love.
Right.
And
Right.
do it together as a team. And this team together produces a very high quality product. So these days, the thinking is the other way around. Most of the people, they develop a product, and so the focus is completely on the product. It's not on the people.
Okay.
And this would be a radical change, because actually without people, there is no business.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so this is the main reason to start there, to look at the people, provide a working space where they feel comfortable, where they feel seen, where they feel heard, and where they love to be.
And providing a service or a product that society needs.
Yeah. A service or building a product. Yeah. This is a complete different way of thinking.
Now, you've mentioned a couple of times about conscious business, and I think you mentioned to me, I think before we started recording, that
Yeah.
you were doing a conscious business program with the Conscious Business Institute. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a master class. It's located in Santa Barbara in California.
Yeah.
It's an online training with.
Because I'd just loved you to say a little bit about it. Peter Mattis was a guest of ours in 2025.
Oh, you know it already. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, spoken about it, and I just thought this was a great opportunity for a little bit of a plug for him and his institute, because he's an amazing individual, amazing man, and very inspirational. And actually, it's a great opportunity for someone who's doing one of those courses to share what it's about.
Yeah, roughly, it's about finding out or looking at what's your own strengths, what is your mistakes, what is your capability. For me, so for example, I didn't know my mistake is healing touch, so I can work with energies, which I actually do.
Yeah.
And the second one is stillness magic.
Okay.
So this is what rubs off. If the people around me, they start yawning because they relax. So, so if my wife is next to me, she starts yawning. I know I'm not boring her. She's just relaxing. Yeah. So,
That's a
so
very good way of looking at it. I like that.
yeah. So you find out about your strengths, and then you found out about the hindrances. So what's in the way? So where are the blockages? So it's the first part is you work on yourself. You understand a bit more of yourself, and you work on yourself. And the next one is then you learn listening, active listening in discussions. So these are all well-known methods. But so this is just bring it into awareness again, into training again.
Yeah.
And then you learn how to build a team. out of your own strengths, out of your way to communicate. So you look at the needs and how to fulfill the needs of the others. And then, of course, you work on your why, how, and what.
Okay.
And this is very essential. I worked on this, I think, 3 days, very intensively, with the help of AI. And I wrote pages, and then I compressed it to 2 sentences.
Okay.
So like a mantra.
Yes.
So this works for me. And this is actually the base I can work from.
Yeah.
If there is a need to conceptualize things at all, I don't know. But for going on social media, being visible, you have to articulate something.
Yes.
What's your why?
Yes.
And how you do it.
Yeah.
So
So a lot of people, Jürgen, would say, I hear people saying, my why is I want to make the world a better place. It's quite a common thing that's heard. Is this right? Is there anything wrong with the world? Where should we look for guidance on this, do you think? Because Sri Nisargadatta, for instance, Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, I would say that there was nothing wrong with the world, that it's all about a mistaken identity, that what we need to do is to look inwards and understand our true nature. And that once we've done that, we'll see that there is nothing wrong with the world, that it's within our construction. How does that play out with you?
Today I was traveling back from France. I was sitting in the car for 10 hours. So I was listening to the radio. And they were discussing the point in time when people started fighting. So when did the first war start? It's 12,000, 15,000 years ago, when people stopped being nomads and started being farmers. Where they started to have their own plot, which they had to defend, where they could say, this is mine, and you don't get it. So it's where war started. Explained like this. This is, of course, a mindset. Before, as a nomad, they were avoiding conflicts. And so they were sharing spaces. And so with possessing things, possessing land, I think this was a point where the ego starts growing. This is mine, I have to defend it. And this is yours, I want to have it. And this is the only thing in the world that's maybe part of the evolution. It's not so brilliant. Whether it's wrong or not, I don't know. It's actually maybe constructed for us to transcend the ego. Because to transcend it, you have to build it up. As Ramdas said Ramdas said, you are born, pop out, and you put on an ego, and for the rest of your life, you try to get rid of it. This is a process. So this is actually necessary to transcend it, to transcend the mind and transcend the destructive pattern he's built up. Yeah. And
is that what you referred a little earlier to? It can be painful, and it's that breaking of the ego, which is perhaps something that's painful. Is that what you were referring to there in part?
This is what the Buddhists call suffering. This is painful. I had to go through it, where I said, so I'm so depressed of all the things. So I was very successful in business. I was quite successful on the spiritual path. And then the relationship didn't run as I wanted it. So life gets boring, and I'm fed up with the whole thing. Saying this, quite often I'm fed up. And in German they say I have the mouth full of it. So, and when you have the mouth full of things, you can't breathe properly. So in middle of summer, I really became a very heavy lung disease. So my lungs stopped working. I was lying in bed and hardly had any energy to breathe anymore. So every breath was like hard work to breathe in, and I was really fed up with everything. When I suddenly I said, well, if life would stop now, it would actually be a pity.
Okay.
When this thought came up,
to
run me down took about 4 or 6 weeks. It's very, very quick.
Right.
If you run a negative thought for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Even from a point of high consciousness. So with energy behind it.
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years to get out of it again. Health-wise, 2 years.
Yeah.
So now I know, and I was really suffering for 6 weeks, and then I could see the effect on the physical plane. It brought me very, very close to death.
Okay, Jürgen, thank you very much. With one eye on the time, which I know is pressing for you, for both of us, what is the one practice that you would recommend to leaders listening?
The practice. The practice is just to touch your hand from time to time and get in touch with yourself and get in touch with the touching. And what you're touching inside is something very much bigger. If I ask people to touch themselves and really dive deep into the touching, their frequency goes up, their presence goes up, because I can hear it. I can hear frequencies. This is my advice from time to time. You don't have to fold your hand like this. You can do it like this, or you do it like this. Every time you need a bit more peace, I want to center yourself, just touch it and observe like the skin is touching the other skin. Very easy practice.
Thank you. Thank you. Jürgen.
Once you touch another person like this, you will be surprised.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry. So thank you for your time, Greg.
No, don't. Jürgen, very quickly, what are you doing now and how can people get in touch with you? Because you do retreats with people and so forth. Could you just tell us very briefly what it is you do and where people can get in touch with you?
I'm a consultant for conscious leadership, for inner development. I do regularly posts on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Or you can contact me on my website, Roshido.com.
Okay. And I'll put those links in the show notes below.
My LinkedIn contact is, I observe it regularly, and also Roshido.com. It's a bit under construction, but the people can reach me there. And there are some little movies where they can see what's about meditation, what's about energy work. And
perfect. Okay. Jürgen, thank you so much for your time, for your spirit, for your wisdom, for your presence. And
thank you.
It's been a privilege to have this conversation with you. I do really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you for the opportunity for me to talk it out, to talk about it. And every time we can pick up on this conversation, I'm happy to talk to you. It's very, very nice environment you share. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless. And we'll speak again soon. I have no doubt. Thank you, Jürgen.
All the best, Greg.
Bye.
All the best. Have a nice day.
Bye. And
Greg, bye. Bye-bye.
Well, I found that really enlightening. Jürgen is a powerful and inspirational example of someone who's been able to bridge the divide. Very often there is one, but bridge the divide between personal development and business. And I think the way in which he's blended them together is absolutely inspirational. To find out more about him and his work, please see the links in the show notes below. And thank you very much indeed for listening and for watching. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, as this greatly helps the algorithms to spread our conversations to a wider audience. And also leave a comment, especially now, because I'm sure many of you who've watched this will have thoughts. It'd be great if you were to share them. Leave a comment in the notes below. This is Metaconscious Leaders with me, Greg Suart. Until next week, be present, be centered, be well.